Success rises and falls on your leadership. Today's video, we will learn 3 pillars of leadership that are helping me right now run my business. Whether you're a coach that wants to lead their team better or lead their clients better, or an executive who wants to lead their team to the next level, this video will be for you. It's super powerful, the concept of leadership. The better leader you become, the more you can change the world, the more you can have a bigger company, the more you can help and impact more people. Why? Because leadership goes back into a concept called influence. Your ability to enroll people into making something happen. After almost 2 years, I've been able to lead my team into building an operation that is working most of the time without me. So super excited to share these concepts with you, and we'll share 3 pillars, 2 of the books of Maxwell, which is 360-degree Leader and 21 Laws of Leadership. But I also want to share the DISC personality type, because I think that in the last couple of months has really helped me understand what type of people am I, and how can I talk with other people, and how can I influence other people in a specific way depending on their type of personality. Because you can lead everyone, but not everyone can be led the same way. That's super important. In the book 360-degree Leader, Maxwell talks about the ability to lead not only downwards, like I'm the boss and you're my employee, but upwards, meaning like I'm the coach and I'm leading you to become a better version of yourself. Or you are a team member and you say, hey, you're not gonna tell the boss what to do, but you can say, hey, these are my ideas and this is how I can improve, and these are the different concepts that we can become better at. So 360-degree Leader is a really powerful concept, because it doesn't matter where you are on the org chart or wherever, you can lead from all directions. And leading from all directions is helping your clients, helping your team, helping your boss, helping your followers. A true leader helps all of these people. And the more you're able to understand and dive deep into these concepts, the more you'll understand that you can always start leading. It doesn't matter where you are in the org chart. And leadership starts with the decision to actually empower and think outside of oneself. And of course, anything that I'm talking about will apply also to you, because if you cannot lead yourself in your life with your fitness, with your food, with your rest, with your relationships, with your thoughts, with your mind, with that things, you cannot expect to talk about these concepts because you're not leading yourself first. So before you watch this video, pause the video, go to how to lead yourself, how to manage yourself, and I will probably talk about those videos in the future. Or I have actually, if you check here the 8 filters of excellence, you'll see how to start leading yourself, because I've talked about that before. So make sure you check it out. There's 2 topics that I'd like to talk about leadership: guide versus dictate, and accountability with compassion. So with my team, a really big pet peeve is that I always ask them not to give me just questions, but actually give me solutions and propose alternatives. So what I will always say is give me answers and not problems to solve, because I already have enough problems with my team, with my clients, with everything that I'm trying to hold right now. And when I go to my team and tell them what to do or the problem to solve, I'm expecting them to solve the problem and come up to me with different solutions so I can pick and choose. It's, again, not telling them exactly what to do every single time, because if I tell them what to do every single time and I micromanage my entire team, it's not going to work. And they will always depend on me. I was able to step out for 15 days out of my company because I was able to make them accountable of what was expected, what's the problem, what's going to make sure that the problem doesn't arise or it gets resolved, and they were able to handle 98% of the time, okay? And you have to have a big level of trust here, because trust is a really key component when it comes to leadership. If you're able to lead properly, you have to trust your team. You can say you're a great leader, you can say that you achieve wonderful things, and you can. But if you're micromanaging, you're not trusting them and you're not allowing them to fail. And yes, leadership will come with failures. Leadership will come with lessons. But what's important is that you start trusting your team and they will start trusting you in the back end. Then when it comes to accountability with compassion, when they do mistakes, when they fuck up, you have to hold them accountable. So consequences, and you have to have consequences, procedures, and systems, because when they say they're going to do something, but they don't do it, okay, there has to be a consequence. And the consequence, it doesn't mean that they're going to be fired. It means like, hey, I'm not trusting you here. That's a consequence by itself. So I'd rather keep trusting you if you create a procedure and a system to make sure that the thing that I'm holding you accountable with is there's always going to be consequences. There will be a point that if they are not listening to you and they're not paying attention, the consequences will get higher. But the procedures have to be super high, so the systems can always work. That's how to have accountability. And when it talks about compassion, right, a key word here would be love. Because when you have a team, when you have a group of people, they are trusting you with their lives. And of course, we're not in a war. We're not talking about combat. They're trusting their livelihood. They are wanting to do better. That's why most of the time they are committed in the group. You have to filter out the people correctly, but most people want to do good. Most people want to succeed, at least to a certain degree, but they do want to succeed. So you always have to have love when it comes to this, because if you're just cold-hearted, they'll eventually leave. And I failed many times when it comes to giving love, even though I'm a loving person. But if you fail at this will eventually break because they won't be motivated. People are people and they want an emotional contention. That's super important. Something else that I want to point here is when we talk about guide, you have to lead by example, not just tell them what to do, but how to do it and show them how to do it. It's super important. Here it's about show versus tell. And here we're going to talk about expectations. And if you want, you can watch the video about expectations with my clients. However, it's better to understand that the expectations that you set with your clients also are built out with your team, also are built out with your boss. You have to have boundaries in everything that you do. So clear expectations and clarity, what are you going to help people hold accountable? And when it comes to guiding and versus dictating, you have to show, don't tell just people what to do. Those are the powerful concepts in the first part of this video. There's 21 laws of leadership. I'm just going to talk about 3 main ones, which are the law of influence, the law of inner circle, and the law of navigation. So these 3 pillars are super important when it comes to leadership, and I really liked it because leadership comes down to these 3 things. Who are you influencing to? Who are you keeping really close? And where are you actually going? Because a good leader that doesn't have these 3 won't be able to lead anywhere. Also, when you're talking about being a coach, the law of influence is super important because if you express, quote unquote, true self, if you express your true self, the client will be inspired to follow your leadership. And they will do as you do. And yes, they can do as you say, but if you're living, if you're embodying your true self, if you're expressing yourself in the masterful way, that baby is how you're able to influence people. You see Preston's mouth. How much passion does he bring to his videos? Garen Jones, how much passion does he say in the words where he dances, where he expresses? Or John Wellen, the way and the poised way that he is able to communicate and articulate the words. It's such a delightful experience to listen to him. Because one thing is to embody and to express, right? Because you can embody it, but if it's boring the way that you're embodying, no one will watch you. and no one will actually follow you unless they're actually working with you already. But you have to express your true self in the same manner. Okay, those are two important facts. When it comes to your inner circle, I heard the other quote by Alex Hormozi that you don't become the people that you surround yourself with, you become the people that you want to impress. Which I don't necessarily agree, because again, environment plays a really big part of it. If I'm seeing my brother always order pizza, I will likely or tempted be to eat one pizza one time. The 5 people you talk or aspire to be, make them challenge, stretch, teach, and love on you. If you allow the 5 people you talk or aspire to be like challenge you, stretch you, teach you, but also loving you. Again, remember, it's all about connection. It's all about building that relationship. So allow these people to do all these things, because that will make you a better leader every single time. I'm constantly challenged by my team into better communication, into really understanding what they're truly wanting, what they truly need from me, and how can I become a better leader. It's a never-ending journey, and I just want to get better for them and also for me. That's the whole dance that we're trying to play right now. Okay, and finally, the law of navigation. So leaders know where to go. There was a really powerful phrase that Evan Carmichael told me at the Genius Network, which is, people want to be told what to do or where to go. People want their vision. If you just do things for the sake of doing them, they're always going to say that it's a good job. But a great job comes with leadership. A great job comes by you saying, where are we going and how are we going to get there? So, where and how to get there. Okay? And I'm gonna have another layer. I'm gonna have another layer here right now. This explains why. Why should they follow you? Who should follow you? How, when, and where. Who should follow you goes down into the law of influence. Why they should follow you. So you have to give them reasons and a purpose here. You have to, in the law of inner circle, you can say who is actually going to follow me. And in the law of navigation is how are they going to follow me, when are they following me, and where are we going, okay? And that encompasses all the concepts of leadership from the 21 laws of leadership. And of course, I encourage you to read or listen to the audiobook. But these are really important concepts that you start applying into your own leadership. And you just think to yourself, okay, how can I become a better leader? Because you don't become a better leader by just doing and leading people. You actually have to think about stuff. You have to actually internalize and say, okay, what are we doing? How can I become a better leader? It's a conscious and meticulous choice. One of the aspects that I want in my life is always making everything intentional. The reason why I'm trying to prepare more for these videos, and you'll see it's much more delicate and deliberate type of process, is because I want to become better at communicating, but I also want to become better at presenting, and I also want you to have better value per second type of video. And now we're going to talk about the last part of leadership that comes to the DISC personality type. And this is something that you can start applying by doing a test. I'm going to link the test below. Make sure that you just pay the $2 and then exit the membership, because many of my team members were charged accidentally. It's a good test. You can find other tests online, but the one that I did, it's below, and it's the DISC personality test. So this is dominance, influence. There are 4 DISC personality types: the dominance, influence, conscientiousness, and steady types and personality types. And you will fall into each one of the categories. After doing the test, I was able to find out that I have primarily influence and then dominance. And what are these people like? This is super important, because if you want to compliment, if you want to see back, like who are the people that are going to compliment you correctly, you might want to search people that are different from you. So let's think about this. Dominance is action taker. I want to get things done. I want to do it now. It doesn't matter what I do, but I want to do it. I want to get it. Those are the action takers. Those are the alphas. Those are like the big personality types, like I can do it all, my dominion. So that is really, really important. And how you deal with these people is you encourage them like, hey, take action. You are a leader. Let's freaking go. Yes, this is amazing. Then we go into the influence type, a little bit like me, which talks about energy. Energy and enthusiasm. Yo, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be epic. We're going to do so much cool things. This is super hyped up. Let's freaking go. Yes, let's freaking go. That's how you start leading and influence those types of people. When it comes to conscientiousness, which as you can see is my opposite, is detailed plans. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. These are the steps that we're going to do it. This is why we're going to do it. Explain them really, really powerfully and make them sure that, okay, this is how it's going to do. And the more data and logic, and they are really logical. And the more you're able to understand these types, the more you'll be able to influence each person. And steady is structure. So the things are happening in this manner, and it's always going to happen in this manner, and it's not going to change, and you will be here, and we will keep going, and this is how the system keeps working, right? And right now, I have all of these personalities in my team, and I have to lead these personalities in multiple manners and in multiple ways, because not all of them receive the same thing. Not many of them are action takers. Most people fall, at least in my team, fall into the influence because they are creative, they like to dance, they like to create, they are really hyped. But what happens here is that they can be really high and they can be really low. And they say like, oh, it's dying. Here, this person, we just onboarded it, and the biggest challenge is going to be how do we execute things in squares. This one is going to be like fire. So when we talk about salespeople, when we talk about people who really want to get after it, they can become really dangerous if you don't take accountability for them. And the steady one is, okay, this is what we're doing constantly. So make sure that you start implementing all these concepts. And it also comes back to how are you able to lead yourself first. So if I know that I'm influenced, but I'm also a really freaking good action taker. Okay, I know that, okay, I'm gonna create enthusiasm for me. I gotta get hyped up. I do these videos because I really love them. Like, it's not for the views, not for the likes. It's because I actually enjoy talking to the camera. I want to be an actor. I want to act in different movies. And that's why I'm doing this. Right? I want to become better at presenting stuff, and that's why you are listening to me, and my conversations and my dialogues and my presentations are becoming better and better and better because I like to do this. Okay? So, with that said, final tips for leadership. Remember, everything when it comes to your leadership, it's at the end your responsibility. Practice radical responsibility. Practice radical transparency. Always try to own that the results of your team are yours, even though they fucked up. I always say that, of course, I might fire some people, I might keep some people, but at the end of the day, it's my responsibility because I was not leading them properly. So everything goes back to the first sentence that you saw before, which is every success that I've had, $150,000 and up, was able to come by because I was able to lead properly to the degree that I'm able to lead. If I knew how to lead better, I would have made $1 million and $1 billion and $10 billion. Like Elon Musk, tell him what you want, but he is an excellent leader. That's why many people will circle around him and make things happen. It's not about the hardest worker, it's about the better leader. Catch that.